Bone Rattle Arena is the final Salmon Run stage, which means this is pretty much the last huge content update for next wave. So if you've been putting off your 9s grind until there's nothing else left to do, it's time to strap up your boots and get to business, because the only thing left to do is shoot the fish. My name is Solid Alias, and let's talk about doing your 9s. Before we even get into tips about getting the EVP 900, we have to go over your mentality, because if you really want to get to the max rank in Salmon Run, you're either a Mr. Grizz simp, or you've got fewer brain cells than a Quahog. A 9s grind is at bare minimum 6.5 consecutive hours of your life, assuming you don't lose a single wave or have Verizon Fios internet connection. You seriously need to have more of an attention span than a steel eel if you want to get that 999 badge. If you're doing it for the bragging rights, I have a duty to inform you that nobody outside the Salmon Run server is going to care. And if you're doing it because you want Little Judd's attention, I promise you he's only into you for your head count. You only have 40 hours to do this, so make sure you have a weekend set aside or a few days that you can guarantee nothing is going to bother you. If your mind is clear and you're ready to start, then try and start at the start of a rotation. A lot of the Salmon Run chads who want to grind this rotation will be playing right at the start, so you'll be able to get along with the best of the randos. Make sure you have a snack or a small meal ready. You could be sitting here for a long time. Even with the checkpoint system, most of the difficulty is loaded in the second half of the grind. If you're an above average Salmon Runner, you might only be at this for 6 to 10 hours, but at its extremes, you could be here for 16 hours. That's enough time for someone to get from intern to executive, or enough time for you to click subscribe. Wait, but Solid, my teammates are unironically throwing my matches, and they're the reason I'm losing. What am I supposed to do? Well, to answer that, you have to talk about parallel universes. Now you might be asking yourself, what is a parallel universe? I'm glad you asked. You see, a parallel universe is basically a separate reality where you aren't a bitch! It isn't your teammates. If you need better teammates, pick up some people from the Salmon Run server. Otherwise, just play better, because if I see even a single comment complaining that they can't get their 9s or EVP because they have bad teammates, I will bend you like a Drizzler shield. Do you think every single person who gets 9s solo is just lucky? Man, I swear. Now let's talk about gameplay choices you need to make in order to succeed. When you're trying to reach the pinnacle of Salmon Run, you first need to have your basics down. You can't learn to shoot the fish without buying a gun, and you can't buy a gun without making money. But you won't have any if you play Salmon Run. Make sure you're luring the lureable bosses and have good target selection. Here's a list of the lureable bosses, but make sure to have some nuance with it. Maybe don't lure a single Moss from the shore if there's 3 stringers trying to turn you into a donut. The lessers can stack up and be more dangerous than a boss if you don't kill them, so make sure you keep those lessers in check. Don't overfish if it risks the wave. You're trying to survive, not be the next Egg Bezos. Drop the ego and play to win. If you're having trouble and losing multiple games in a row, it's worth it to take a break and assess what you're doing wrong before going back in there. Most of the grind really is just mental, so if you can make sure you're playing a rotation with weapons that you know well, or just one weapon that you really like, even if others might not find it as a grindable rotation, it can be that push you need to succeed. On that note, if you know you struggle with certain aspects of Salmon Run, it's in your best interest to pick a rotation that has a weapon that covers that weakness. Do you suck at Rush? Make sure it's the roller in the rotation. Do you have no other wish than for Flyfish to not be alive? An Explosher rotation might be in your best interest. Basically, plan in advance to find a shift that has enough of the variables in your favor to consider giving it a shot. Alright, look. If you want to get your 9s, you will get it. It's just a matter of how much you want it. It's more of a test of willpower than anything. Don't feel any pressure from anyone but yourself to get it. And if you want it badly enough, you will succeed. I personally believe in you. Oh, and my friend wanted me to put this in the script. My name is Solid Alias, and don't let your slammin' lints be the end of your slammin' run.